You open the new AI tool, give it the task you have done every Monday for years, and watch it finish before your coffee cools. The result is not perfect, but it is good enough to make your stomach drop. If you are the analyst whose weekly report now appears automatically, the developer watching routine code arrive in seconds, or the marketer seeing a campaign draft before lunch, you know this feeling. You are not only worried about a task, you are wondering whether the thing you became known for is becoming ordinary. You work to become reliable. You learned the shortcuts, handled late requests, and became the person people called when the work had to be done properly. Now the company calls the new tool efficient, and you are trying not to hear that word as replaceable. But AI replacing a task does not automatically make you replaceable.
It reveals whether your value was built on producing an artifact or on understanding what that artifact is for. A career built around one repeatable task is like a bridge with one support column. It looks stable until a new system removes that column. Then the collapse feels sudden, but the structure was narrow all along. The International Labor Organization reports that 1 in 4 workers globally is in an occupation with some degree of exposure to generative AI. That deserves your attention. But exposure is not a final verdict. Most affected jobs are more likely to be transformed than removed because human input remains necessary. Here is what most people do not realize. A task becoming cheaper does not mean your judgment becomes cheaper. An AI system can generate a report. It cannot know which number matters most to the customer who may leave next month.
It can draft a proposal. It cannot notice the concern nobody says aloud in a tense meeting, then take responsibility for the decision after that meeting ends. It can produce code. It cannot fully own the trade-off between delivery speed, security, product risk, and the people maintaining that system 6 months from now. That is where the Stoic idea of Arete becomes practical. Arete means excellence of character and execution. It does not mean protecting every old task. It means becoming exceptionally useful in the conditions you actually face. You do not control which software your company adopts. You do not control whether a workflow gets faster. You control whether you learn the tool, understand the context, judge the output, communicate clearly, and carry responsibility when the output has consequences.
Ethan was a product analyst whose weekly report had become part of his identity. He pulled the data, found the trends, built the charts, and wrote the leadership summary. Then Daniel from operations introduced an AI workflow that collected the data, produced the charts, and wrote a polished draft in minutes. Ethan smiled in the meeting. Later that night, he reopened the draft in his apartment. The report said engagement had risen and recommended celebrating a new onboarding change. But Ethan knew the product. Users were not more engaged because the experience had improved. They were repeating a confusing step. The system measured activity. Ethan recognized friction. The machine generated an answer. Ethan supplied meaning. Here's what people often miss. You become harder to substitute when you move from completing the visible task to improving the decision behind the task.
The World Economic Forum reports that employers expect 39% of workers' core skills to change by 2030. Your experience has not become worthless, but static expertise is no longer enough by itself. A toolbox with one tool can look impressive until the job changes. Then it cannot solve the new problem. Your goal is not to become the fastest person using AI. Your goal is to build skill redundancy. In a reliable system, redundancy means more than one path keeps creating value if a component fails. In your career, it means combining domain knowledge, technical fluency, communication, sound judgment, relationship trust, and ownership. A tool can give you options.
It cannot decide which option fits the reality in front of you. Maya, Ethan's product manager, did not value him merely because he caught a bad conclusion. She valued what he did next. He spoke with support, connected engagement data to customer complaints, described the retention risk, and proposed a test with clear trade-offs. He was no longer just delivering a report. He was helping the company make a better decision. If you are early in your career and feel that you do not yet have authority, remember this. Judgment grows through practice. Trust grows when people see that you notice what matters and follow through. Here is what most people do not realize. When AI makes basic output abundant, discernment becomes more valuable. When everyone can create a first draft, the person who defines the right problem matters more. When everyone can automate a workflow, the person who understands its blind spots matters more.
Use the tools. Learn where they accelerate you, then move upward into work that needs context and accountability. Practice 1. Run a task exposure audit. Write down the 5 tasks that consume most of your work week. Mark each as automated, augmented, or judgment-heavy. This shows where you can safely use a tool and where you must build deeper capability. Practice 2. Find the decision above the task. For every task AI helps you complete, ask what decision sits above it. This moves you from producing a report, draft, design, or code toward explaining what it means, what could fail, and what should happen next. Practice 3. Build your redundancy stack. Choose one technical skill, one domain skill, one communication skill, and one ownership skill to strengthen this quarter. This gives you connected ways to contribute when one task becomes automated.
For Ethan, technical skill meant learning the workflow. Domain skill meant understanding user behavior. Communication meant presenting a clear recommendation. Ownership meant following the test through to its result. Here is the practical shift most people overlook. Do not learn AI merely to add another badge to your profile. Learn it to remove a point of failure from your professional value. Practice 4. Become the quality gate. Review assumptions, missing context, and downstream consequences before trusting an AI output. This makes your judgment the control layer that prevents a fast workflow from scaling a quiet mistake. A system without validation does not become intelligent because it is fast. It simply distributes errors more efficiently. Practice 5. Make your reasoning visible. In your next update, explain the signal you saw, the trade-off you weighed, and the recommendation you made. This lets colleagues see the value that remains invisible inside a polished document or automated result. If your company cares about efficiency, connect your judgment to efficiency. Show how clearer thinking prevents rework, protects customer trust, reduces risk, or stops wasted effort before it spreads. This is Arete in a modern workplace. Not dramatic resistance, not pretending the technology will disappear, not trying to win a race against a machine on the machine's preferred terrain. It is the disciplined choice to become more useful as the environment changes. Avais Aziz is a stoic engineer and calm systems thinker, helping viewers build a stoic operating system for modern work and life.
Ethan did not protect his role by proving he could make reports faster than the AI workflow. He became the person who improved the workflow, found its blind spots, connected data to real users, and helped leaders act with better information. That is the opportunity in front of you. You are not valuable only because you can perform one task that nobody else can do. You become durable because you can learn, judge, communicate, and take responsibility when the task changes. The new tool may remove a piece of your old work. Let it reveal where your next level of excellence begins. If this gave you a steadier way to think about AI in your career, subscribe. We are building a calmer, stronger way to work in a world that keeps changing.